Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Stellaris Strategy and Tactics Episode 1. So today we venture forth into Stellaris once again, new race, new strategies. We are currently on Niven, the 2.1.1 patch, so keep that in mind. Now, for who we are going to be playing and what we're going to be doing, well, I created a mod. Now, the mod is basically a whole bunch of different vanilla empires. There's no modded traits or civics. These are all traits and civics from the base game, but they are arranged in such a fashion that the all the different races and empires are perfectly balanced. So we get an even mix of psychotic racists and peace-loving traders and peaceful this and, you know, spiritual that. We get an even mix. We get basically one example of every different type of AI in the game. Now, I also put to a vote for you guys which race you wanted me to play and do a strategy and tactics, and the Rogue Servitors, the Voxen Nursery, has won. So that is who we are going to be playing today in my pack. If you want to get this pack of empires, take a look at the link in the description for the link to the workshop page. Right then, for those of you who did not see my video from before, let me introduce you to the Voxen Nursery. So, the actual beings that we're playing, the beings are the Kinder Contraptions. A Kinder Contraption is built to last, sporting an impressive 100,000-year expected service life. A Kinder Contraption is programmed to care for the emotional and biological well-being of any organic in the first 3% of their life. A programming error caused them to therefore consider any organic under the age of 3,000 years to require their care. The term mandatory pampering is taken very seriously and very literally. Armed with baby powder and binkies, they seek new unsupervised newborns to care for. That's right. So this is basically nanny bots that have gone rogue and now consider all organic beings to be infants and treating them as such. And therefore, since there are no quote-unquote adults left, they have taken over the government, insisting that they know best and trying to do everything they can to protect the young infant, quote-unquote, organics that are under their care. Now, as far as our traits go, this is a strategy and tactics series, so I will be doing things with an eye for min-maxing and optimal strategies. Now, that being said, their traits are not necessarily what you would call min-maxed. These traits were chosen more for the role-playing cohesion and the balance of the different empires than for the absolute optimal build. So keep that in mind. Emotion emulators too, well, they don't want to freak out their young organic charges. They are durable because, well, that's part of their backstory, last 100,000 years. Learning algorithms, they can learn to adapt and find new ways to teach their young charges. Custom made, there are all kinds of customization. You know, some are doctors, some are caretakers, some are sanitation things. Got to keep those nurseries clean, and of course they're bulky. They are not built for ease of transport at all. We also have Rogue Servitor, which is again their cornerstone, and unitary cohesion. This is a bit of a min-maxed pick. This will absolutely give you a ton of unity, and Rogue Servitors, as you will see, already give you a ton of unity, so this just ramps that up to 11. Now, as far as their bio trophies, the Voxen, the Ponus Voxen, they are the fox-like people. And their traits are, I've done a mixture of sort of min-maxing and RP here. Conservationist and traditional are the two traits for a biotrophy that are absolutely key because they cost a lot in consumer goods, and you'll see why in a moment. And traditional, again, they are your primary source of unity, and boosting that helps. Now, for the Voxen here, the natural engineers does nothing for us. They cannot be made. Your biotrophies cannot be made to research. That's what the robots are for. So thus them being natural engineers gives us no benefit. However, I put that in there for role-playing purposes because, let's face it, if a species can design a robot that will last 100,000 years, they're pretty darn good at engineering. They just suck at programming. Right then, so without any further ado, let us begin. Now, because this mod pack has 23 different races set to force spawn, my normal recommendation would be to start with 23 AI empires. But since we are playing as one of them, we want 22 so that the other 22 spawn and we are representing ourselves. 2 fallen empires, 2 marauder empires, and a huge galaxy. We can go with elliptical. That's fine. That's fine as is. We're going to do this on Captain difficulty, so up a little bit of a notch, but we are going to turn on scaling difficulty so that the AIs do not get their bonuses all at once in the beginning. Otherwise, everything else pretty stock standard, so let us begin. Okay, so we are here. Let us see what kind of goodies that we have. Alright, so first things first, well, normally I would check for our leader traits, but since we are a robot, that we are a machine consciousness, our ruler does not have any traits beyond just their the fact that they're immortal. Well, sort of immortal. So nothing to do there. However, our scientists do have traits, so we do want to see what their traits are, and we want to pick our initial tax. Let's see here. Your field manipulation, that's not too shabby. We do want to go for research speed as our first physics input here. That will be useful. Biology's not bad. I could see something a little bit better, but I'm not going to complain too loudly. Let's see here. Biolab's a definite one to think of. Pop growth speed also useful. I think we're gonna go pop growth speed just for the moment. And for you, Voidcraft will be useful later on, not so much now. What I really want is I want mineral production is what I want. But you know what? We're going to go engineering facility here because getting that research up early, probably a good idea. Right then. Now, for our 200 minerals. Now, normally what I would do is, well, the first batch of minerals, absolutely take your constructor ship, go to your seeded minerals planet, and let's build a mining station there. Normally, my second batch of minerals would go here to your shipyard, build a module, resource replicator, or trading post for you organics. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. That is incorrect. All right, good. Size 18 home world. That's not bad. And good. We have a tile with some food on it. So no, what we want to do is we want to spend our next 100 to start constructing a pop, ideally on a tile that has some sort of bonus to minerals, because minerals in the early game, especially for these guys, very, very much their critical sort of bottleneck. Right then. Now the other thing, there's a couple other things we want to do here. Up here in policies and edicts. Let's see, food stockpiling, we want to actually set this to balanced. we want to be able to stockpile a good amount of food. And we don't necessarily need the population growth bonuses from hitting the food cap right away. Secondly, Orbital Bombardment. When it comes to Orbital Bombardment, we actually want to preserve as many lives because, well, I mean, eventually our idea is that we take over worlds and we don't want to hurt the organics. They're just infants after all. And also the pacifist empires will be happier with us if we do selective. The other thing is, if we do need to go back to indiscriminate, we kick off our 10-year switcheroo cooldown now, so that we can always jump into indiscriminate right before a war in which we might want to use it. So it's just useful. First contact protocol peaceful, that's definitely good. Open borders, that's good. And we definitely want to welcome refugees. Those are free bio trophies. We also want to spend our 100 influence on Map the Stars. We are going to be having copious amounts of influence. As you can see, we're already gaining 5 influence per month. 3 from the base, 1 for being Gestalt consciousness, and 1 for our servitor morale. Now, servitor morale, let me explain this thing. This right here, this little modifier right here, is the cornerstone of the entire Rogue Servitor. What makes them Rogue Servitors, and actually what makes them good. It also makes them kind of tricky to play. They are probably, of the 4 synthetics, the most difficult to play, but also the most rewarding if you play them properly. And I'm here to show you how to play them properly. Right then, so the servitor morale, in the way, because our guys are robots, they do not have happiness bonuses in the traditional sense. But in the untraditional sense, they do. They basically, the more bio trophies the Rogue Servitor has to care for, the more, let's say, neurotic energy it can expend on caring for them, and therefore the more relaxed and focused on more traditional tasks it can be. So basically, the more bio trophies we have, or the higher the ratio of them to robots, the higher our morale raises. As our morale goes up, our monthly influence gain goes up, and our base production goes up. And it can go much higher than 20%. 20% is the limit of the bonus for an organic based on 100% happiness. They can go higher. These guys can get downright euphoric if they have the right amount of bio trophies to care for. So we're going to want to keep that in mind. And on that note, we want to change the rights here. By default, your bio trophies population controls are enabled, meaning they can't breed. We don't want that. We want our bio trophies to make more bio trophies. So no population controls. Thank you. It's probably going to confuse the heck out of these nanny bots as the babies start having babies. But they're not going to complain too loudly because, hey, doesn't matter, got more babies. Or, I guess, kits in this example. Okay, looking at our spot in the galaxy, we are on the outer rim. That's not too bad. We have a couple of avenues out of our local cluster, and also access to another close by local cluster. I'm always wary about being penned in, because that's always a tricky and difficult time to navigate. Alright, so let's take our science ship, our Carefree. That's not too bad. Now what you want to do is you want to survey stars that are adjacent to yours as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go here, here, and you know what? I think we're going to be getting a second science ship, so that one will be taking off over in the other direction. So you know what? Yeah, we'll go here. Here, we'll get our local cluster, and then we'll have a second science ship go up and around that way. All right. Oh yeah, last pro tip for you before we unpause here. 15 minutes into the video. So here we've got our 3 free starter corvettes. Nice of them to give that to us. Yeah, we don't want them. We don't want them. Here's a pro level stat for you. We are currently gaining 14 minerals per month. We are now getting 17 minerals per month. We just deleted our 3 free ships, but we got 3 minerals a month in exchange. Basically, we don't have to pay the mineral maintenance on them. Now, that might seem rather dumb and short-sighted, but actually it works out for you in the long run. The reason being is the minerals coming in now are more valuable than minerals later on. And the earlier those minerals can start flowing in, the better. That's why we are beelining for the mining station right away before we tackle the other two. And by the time we start needing ships for like pirates and stuff, we'll have our economy hopefully high enough that we don't need to worry about that, and rebuilding them won't be too big of an affair. Right then, let us unpause and let us commence. Now, one thing I am going to look at once we get our energy above 200. Oh yeah, let's look at our leaders. Eager? We started with an E. Dang it, we got to replace our governor. Ooh. First place surveyed, and we get a strategic resource.
Complete.
Okay, so we completed that. I usually move on to, what do these things do, by the way? Energy weapons. Not bad. Not bad at all. We're not going to be able to utilize those right away, but hey, it'll help us out in the long run. As soon as there we go. So once we get the next tick, we will send you to build your research station. All right. Yeah. Now, because we are custom built, it takes our pops a little while longer than usual to be built, which is why we wanted to get started on them right away. And by the time this construction ship finishes, we can queue up the mining station for the energy there. All right. Let's take a look at our what we can get for governors. Architectural interest. This is the type of governor I like to have in the early game. This is not necessarily the best one long term. Best one long term is this one with all the outputs. But early game, we want this one. We want this type of governor. Right then. Janice, newborn care facility. And we are going to swap out our governor. So now building buildings costs us 10% less in minerals. That adds up and is, like I said, very helpful in the early game. Now, speaking of minerals, we are looking for minerals in our surrounding areas. That's why.
Complete.
So yeah, this place, yeah, great. We got a whole bunch of strategics, 3 of these actually, which is quite nice. We'll have some trading fodder, but we need the raw minerals right now.
Construction complete.
And speaking of the raw minerals right now, one thing we do want to get is we want to start building up our. We're going to start building up another science ship, but since we just spent some energy on a new governor, we are going to want to go with the resource reprocessor first to help us recharge our batteries a little bit faster. Oop, and like that, we are already our first tradition. That's how quick we get this just from our bio trophies. Now, as far as what traditions I like for these guys, we're going to go Discovery. Discovery for a number of different reasons, but first and foremost, unlocking this will give us the ability to discover more anomalies. More anomalies means more seeded resources near us. More seeded resources means more, well, everything. So that by itself is worth it, and one of the 3 traditions worth taking as your first tradition. The others being expansion and harmony with certain builds. All right. This guy's gonna just sit and chill until we find a good mineral resource thing. Don't claim territory just to claim territory. No one's gonna ninja these strategic resources from us, and we have bigger fish to fry. Once our minerals get back up to 100, then we'll be able to build our science ship, and around that time we'll be ready to rock and roll with being able to hire a new scientist. Alright, it's all well and good to find energy, but give us some minerals. Come on, man. Okay. Science ship.
Anomalous surface variable.
If it's... Wait a minute. It's only going to take us that level. Well, yeah, because the carefree takes kind of the sting off of here. That being said, you know what? I'm gonna leave it because I want him just doing baseline surveys for the moment. The anomaly is not going anywhere.
Construction complete.
All right, now we have even more energy.
Construction complete.
We've got you. We've got our 200 energy, so let's take a look at our leaders and see what's available. Ew. Really? I mean, we could take a experience gain, but I'd really prefer to get something better. That's fine. Now, one thing I do want to do, and here's another little advanced gambit for you. We hired that guy, but we're not going to put them there. We're going to actually put them here. We're going to put them here in engineering. The reason why we're going to put them here in engineering is so that we free up our other guy to go in the new thing, the Voidcraft guy. Now, Voidcraft as an expertise is definitely a very useful one to have later. Right now, we actually kind of want. And actually, let me just for my. Okay, whatever game. Fine, I'll keep who we got. We want the Voidcraft guy trained up nice and high, but we can wait to get their expertise until later, because I'm not going to be doing a lot of Voidcraft techs super early in the game. Alright, so let's survey you, and since they're bouncing around down here, we can go up and around up here. Beautiful. And again, we're waiting on sending our construction ship until we have some kind of signs of life. That's a sign of life right there. If we can get even more, all right, that's not bad. Ooh, double planets, Savannah and a continental. Interesting. Neither of which are good ones for my Arctic Voxen. They do like themselves some Arctic planets. Ooh, oh, all right. We just got more minerals here. Construction ship. Move on in. We are more interested in this world than these at the moment, despite all of the good stuff over here. We will make use of these in due time. Now, we can't claim it until we finish surveying it.
System survey complete.
Which is part of the reason why we wanted to wait. All right, we're going to claim this, and you know what? We're going to actually research that anomaly. Now that you leveled up, and therefore it's going to take less time, you can knock that out, and we're going to want the local bonus to that anomaly sooner rather than later. Yeah, that's fine. Level 1, knock it out. Oh, and you are almost done building yourself, so we need to build you the mining network. We also want to queue up another dude. Now, as far as where you're going to put them, what we want to do is we want to clear out one of these. Whichever one of these types of research that we didn't get from our local planetary bonuses, or local system bonuses, we want that one to be worked. So we got a thing of physics and a thing of engineering, so we want to get that, harvest that bonus of society here. Meanwhile, the Arctic Voxen are breeding, and as you can see, each of our biotrophies are just, all they do is sit there, they make unity. You don't have to build their care facilities. You go ahead and go on there. I'm okay with that. Now, the problem is, because the only thing they can do is be in these organic sanctuaries, that's literally the only thing they can do. So they stomp on whatever resources might have been there. That's kind of the balancing act that you have to strike when you are playing Rogue Servitors. That's kind of the tricky bit. But it is so worth it otherwise. You just need to learn to make it work for yourself. So, in the next episode, I will continue elaborating on how you can make these Rogue Servitors work and how we can wrangle our biotrophies to make them work for us, or at least get the most benefit out of them. Meanwhile, we will be exploring and expanding and securing our early resources. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!